I'm going to say, right, I don't know if anyone's thought of this, right, with the Bill of Rights and all that I keep going on about, right? If anyone, excuse the state of my hair, if anybody has thought about, like, when when King Charles left the Parliament Assembly and they just said, oh no, it's not to do with us. We're just going to off, let it all, do his thing, and all that. And when the royal family left that, right, and all their resources left, the government, the canon, and the lords, right, who filled in the missing 45%, right, the missing quarter? Who filled it in? Who replaced it? The Masons? The Home Office? The police? The AI? Who replaced the royal presence in the Parliament Assembly, right? I don't know. So tell me what that is, right? Because as far as I'm concerned, right, the resources for the royal family are for the people, the commonwealth, right, of the people. And they are responsible for looking after the commonwealth of the people. And if they're out of parliamentary duty, right, how can they serve the people, right? How can they make sure that the lords are truly sovereign, right, and there's no tickets in there? How can they make sure that the government's doing their hybrid job and they're calibrated properly with their programming? How can they make sure that the cabinet has been scripted properly by the lords and everybody? Right? How can they make sure of all of that if their quarter fell out of the Parliament Assembly like a pizza slice and everybody else started munching on it because they weren't in the Parliament Assembly anymore? So how did that affect our equity, right? How did that affect our equity as a subject to, was that a legal thing to do that, right? To affect our equity like that as a subject of the Britain, right? As a subject of the royal family, as a citizen, right, slave, and even as a common law person, whatever you are, right, it would be illegal to take the king away from a sovereign country and not let him make sure that it was all working right, because he's got the resources of all the king's guards, the royal army, the royal air force, the royal this, the royal that, the royal society. He's got all that at his disposal, right? But that's not in the government's hands anymore. It just dropped off like a broken record. How is that going to help us with our equity? Because the king made enough, or the queen made enough to serve the people, right? How can she serve the people if she's got no power to do it? She's just a puppet of who? Who took it? What happened? So what happened to our sovereign country? And how has it been taken from us, and why is it affecting our rights of our soul? And why are we being gravelled with nonsense all the time when the Bill of Rights quite clearly states that we can stand as our own army with no authority needed if we have got a point to make, and that if we have a claim to make, it was heard in an assembly and it was dealt with, and if it didn't get resolved, it went higher, and that's how nature works with it, right? So that's what it should be. And this is ridiculous, right? Absolutely ridiculous, because it's like a council's taking it over, Ofwat's taking it over. Who's got this? Who's got this? Who shouldn't have it, right? Right? You shouldn't have it. The King's Guards should be waving their swords at Parliament and saying, "Oi, you know, we've got rights, we've got equity. Where are you, King's Guards? Where are you standing up for our rights? Right? Please, where are you standing up for our equity? Right? All you can do is protect the policy of the perpetrators that are taking it away. And you don't see that you got your concentration camps of immigrants there for them to use their weight against us in their hybrid systems, right? You don't see that? I don't get that you don't see it. And the wet markets and the alcohol markets and the tobacco markets and all of the different brand markets and the word games on top of that, right? And the family crest and all of that shit, right? And it needs to be a sovereign charge of it to make sure that these um, corporations don't overreach our equity. And they are, and they shouldn't, and they won't, all right? I won't allow it, all right? I won't allow it. Our children and our mothers are more important than this. To think that I was born to be a breeder for you, and then to be milked afterwards, to know that is true, to know my life has been fake all my life, because you thought you won the war, and you're doing concentration camps now, just like your daddy, right? Right? So I don't know what landed on your head in World War II, love, but you didn't bloody win it, all right? So stop being so patronising to the youngsters that you've put through this mess, all right, and start fixing it. Thank you.